Hi everybody, it's Jolly, and I'm back with a real quick video. Just wanted to share what I made for week 2 of the February 2026 edition of Seek, Gather, Create, which is hosted by Lisa Goddard, Laura Dennison, and Tina Hoyce over on Instagram. And the prompts this week were an iris, lace, tissue, and something silver. And so this is what I made, and I've been wanting for a while now to make a matchbook uh, style project, little assemblage. So I took this opportunity to do that, and it ended up coming together with sort of this theme, which you'll see in a minute. And so here on the sides are our lace. I actually kind of struggled with what I was going to do with the lace until the very end, but then I thought, how, matchboxes have the textured side that you strike the match against to light it, and decided to use lace in that way since it's nice and textural. So I like that. I went with a very monochromatic theme, as you can see, very black and white, and used the stamp set that I picked up last year that had a bunch of facial features, including eyes. And then the kind of found poetry words. Uh, I actually bought a vintage hymnal from Kate at Inked Paper Art, and it just arrived this week, and it's a great source of words. So I've been cutting up the words and using them or getting ready to use them in my projects. So again, this is sort of the front, and this is just pattern paper. So here's our lace. And then if I open this, we have our tiny little assemblage. And so actually this is where the tissue comes in. So I used, and sorry for the crinkling, but I had just this tissue that I got in a package in my stash, this black and white polka dot. So I just took regular white cardstock and I decoupaged the tissue over this bottom of the box. Um, and so that's my tissue element. And then we already saw the lace. And then this is the silver element. So this is a vintage um, lens that was used by an optometrist. So that's my silver item. And then even more so than the lace, I kind of struggled with an iris. So immediately, the first thing that came to mind was the flower, which is actually my sister's favorite flower. But I don't believe I have any images of those, and I am not good at drawing. So I decided to look into different interpretations of iris. And obviously, the next thing I thought of was the iris as part of the eye. So I built kind of this whole thing around eyes and seeing. And so, yeah, so this bottom piece is a piece of, so it's actually a page from a stamp collector's catalog, I believe. And it's kind of most of my sort of vintage book pages are, vintage looking. They're kind of yellowed and so this is what I pull out when I want something black and white. And so then again, we've got the stamped eye, and then it's a little more subtle, but the only color on the whole thing is I colored in the iris with a little bit of watered down acrylic ink in a turquoise color. So hopefully it's picking up on camera. I'm not really sure it is, but that's the only color in the whole piece is around the iris to highlight the iris. And then again, more words from the vintage hymnal. He watches me, and I just added that directly onto the lens. So um, sort of when taken together, you've got his eye is on me, looking this way. He watches me, which came out a little creepy, but I also like how it all sort of ties together. Um, and so, yeah, so again, this is my very first match box that I've ever made. And I used, actually, I should say, a tutorial on Graphic 45's YouTube channel. They have a great tutorial. I think it's like 5 years old at this point, but had all the measurements, walked through it in detail. So it was the perfect step. So, or the perfect step-by-step tutorial. So, just want to give them a shout out as well. And this optometrist lens came from Patty at Sacred Mementos. So yeah, so again, just a very quick make, but something I've been wanting to try for a long time. And I love how the whole theme came together in such a small piece. So yeah. So again, that's my make for week 2 of Seek, Gather, Create, and I'm really enjoying this challenge, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what everybody else makes. Thanks so much, and I will be back next week